What up, my people? ¿Qué pasa, mi gente? Welcome, bienvenidos to another episode, otro episodio de Hoy En Día TV on this amazing, lovely, terrific Thursday. Wow, we have so much to talk about, and we have another amazing guest. So I am excited, though, like for real. And even though today is Thursday, guess what? Today is 6/25, and this is the day also that the King of Pop was unalived. So Nadine, Cece, and I will be talking more about that. But let me bring them on, my amazing co-host. We have the amazing Nadine, author, entrepreneur, actress. Yes, the amazing Dr. C. Andrea, author, entrepreneur, actress. Lovelies, ¿cómo están? Welcome.
¿Cómo estás?
Hello, sisters. Hello. It's a great day.
It is.
Yes, it is a great day, right? And for those who can't find the beauty in a great day, just look around you. You are alive, you are breathing, you are well, and it's all about what you make of it, right? Mind over matter. So, yes, and I'm happy because I get to see you all again. That means we are alive and well and healthy. Hey, yes, praise God.
That's right.
Yes.
So, talk to me. How has it been since the last time I saw you? What y'all been up to? Nadine, I knew you were on set recently, so that sounds like it was fun.
Oh, yes, definitely. I love going on Beyond the Gates. That's one of my favorite sets to be on. So it was a great time. And also, you could call me now. You know how they have Joe the Builder? I'm gonna call myself Nadine the Builder because thank God you have YouTube University, Facebook University, TikTok University, and thank God, hallelujah, for Chat GPT University. Because guess what? I had a cupboard downstairs, like one of the doors were broken, right? And I Googled it how to fix it, Chat GPT how to fix it, and guess what? I fixed it. You know when the nail like kind of expand in the wood and it can't go in anymore. So what they said to do, I take some toothpicks. It was supposed to be a little peg. I forgot the name of it I maybe you buy it from Home Depot, but I didn't have that. So I asked Chat GPT, what is the alternative? So ChatGPT told me to use some wood glue with some toothpicks. Thank God I had toothpicks. Put in the hole, let it dry, and then break it off, right? And then I use the nail to knock it in. But I didn't have any wood glue, so I used epoxy. I used the epoxy glue and let it dry and break it off. Bravo to me. I'm so proud of myself.
Did you create
bravo.
And it worked. And I used my little drill and drilled it in. I'm like, oh, and if I'd have hired somebody there, they'd probably charge me like $300 just to do that.
Oh, yeah. Easy, right? But you know what, sis? You should start creating content, like doing that. Like step one.
It's already on TikTok, honey. It's already.
Oh, you did it? Oh, that's great.
It's already on TikTok. Yes, I did.
Good job. Okay. Yes. I'm proud of you. Yeah. Those things are not easy. And for you to be able to do that and, like you said, save some money, because nowadays things are not easy. My hat's off to you. That's amazing.
Last year I did the same thing with my toilet. And come to find out, I would have to pay like $100 deductible if I call like my home warranty for them to come out. And then they would have probably charged the company like hundreds of dollars to fix it. Guess what? It only needed a little part at Home Depot for $10, and I YouTubed it, watched the video, and I fixed it myself.
Was it the flapper? Because I changed the flapper in my toilet. And then I went to a neighbor in the neighborhood and changed theirs too and showed them how easy it was.
It was the flapper, and it was like another thing underneath. So, girl, I saved me some money. I'm like, yes, everything.
That is awesome. Yes, look at y'all, handy women. I love that. Yes. I'm sure I could probably do it if I needed to, but I just where we live, thankfully, they have maintenance right around. I'll just call them and they can do it.
Right, exactly.
So Nadine, you should whenever you get a moment, share the link because I would love people to watch it. And you said you created content for it, so that'll be good and help your viewership. So definitely put it on our
I'll put the link in the group. I'll put the TikTok link in the group.
Yeah, sounds good. What about you, Cece? What you been up to, ma'am?
Everything is good. You guys know I've been doing some more renovations. So in our home, Nadine's been to the home. So you've seen the wall that we built with the stone and all that. So we built that wall. So that was one of my little handy things. And then we also we didn't help on this project though, other than me coordinating and kind of getting things together and showing the design I wanted. But for our formal dining room, we don't use it like that. So we wanted to make it into a library because I had bookshelves. But these are the bookshelves that we traveled with all of my military tenure, even after retirement. Like they've had it. We had a built-in library, bookcase, and then we have a window seat, so I can sit there. And so now I'll get to go back to my custom designers to just find the right fabric and do all those things and make that happen. And then I want to start redesigning my closets to do built-in because I don't like big furniture on the floor and stuff because it takes up too much space. So I like to have everything like on the walls, right? So you have all that extra floor space to do whatever you need to do. And so I'm going to start with the boys' room. So that's going to be the next project. And the great thing about it is, y'all, is like designing on a dime. Like my goal, since we got our credit card debt, is not to put anything on our credit cards. So I'm just literally saving my little coins and I'm paying everything in cash. So you guys know, I've talked to you offline, but for the viewers out there, even at our beach house in Myrtle Beach, like before it was even the first quarter of the new year, we had spent over $30,000. And praise God, we were able to do that with cash. And then now these other projects for our main home to be able to do everything. And I say all of that to say this, right? You can get things done, but you really got to stay focused and you got to put every little penny that you can aside, right, to be able to make things happen. The cool thing on this week is my boys went to a camp and they had an amazing time. And it's called the Tree Runners. And it's here in Raleigh and out on Creedmoor. And so they're outside and they're in these trees and they're zip lining and they're climbing trees and they're doing their gold mining, right? They have these my son's brought home all these beautiful rocks. He's like, this is gold. It's called fool's gold, Like, does it have any value? Can we get some money for that gold? Right? But they've had an amazing time. It rained on them because rain or shine, you're still out there, right? And so it's all the various age groups. And the other thing at this compound, there's 2 camps going on, and it's a Jewish camp. And so it's just really amazing just to be out there, with the kiddos of all the various ages and all these things, and them being outside and them really enjoying themselves. And so today was the last day of their camp. My eldest, he's like, or my middle child, he's like, oh, I'm kind of glad it's over. He was like, I was tired. He was like, I was on that zip line because there's different levels. And he was like, I was like, Mamacita, trying to make it on across. And then I guess one of the parents got on at some point and she got stuck. And so they were like, yeah, this lady was on and she got stuck on that zip line. They had to try to push her on. so they had an amazing time. So I was really happy about the camp. It's one of the first camps that they've been to that I wasn't there because I'm a helicopter mom. But just to entrust them, to other people. And they had a beautiful time. So it was good.
Yes, you want to talk about interior designer? Cece could do that.
Okay. All right.
I'm not good at it. I can pick out very beautiful things, but putting it together, that's the hard part. So, but my bedroom and my son, he was like, it looks so renovated, just putting the wallpaper, just choosing some of the different designs. And so just kind of putting some things together. And I did record that because I remember, yes, and Nadine was saying, record your content, record. So I just haven't posted. I'm like, but I do have it.
Sis, don't feel bad because you know how much content I have on here? A lot. And because of limited time, I can never get to it. Like, there's just so much stuff that I want to do. And I'm like, nah, it's all in my brain. But guess what? I'm going to get to it, right? It's just, I have to prioritize. So I feel you. Don't feel bad if you haven't had a chance to put it out. You will. But that's awesome. Yes, that sounds really productive. Now, with the whole ziplining thing, I appreciate it, but it's not really my thing. I do like the whole obstacle course tree hopping. That is one of my favorites, like going through different levels of the tree. Now that's fun for sure. We still got to make it out to Go Ape because I remember we were talking about it a while ago. Because I still want to go back.
Mexico.
What'd you say, sis?
I ziplined in Mexico. It was fun. And I'm scared of heights. I said I would never go skydiving. I would never go ziplining, but I did it. That's one thing checked off the box.
You said you went skydiving too?
No, I said I would never go skydiving.
Oh,
but here's another thing. I went to an indoor skydiving here in Atlanta. They do have one.
I don't know if that really qualifies, but okay.
I'd rather do that. I'd rather do the simulator than the real thing, okay?
No, I feel you, sis. I respect that for sure. You know what's interesting is that Ra's also not a fan of heights, and so it's really interesting to see that both of y'all
Sagittarius, man. Sagittarius.
Sagittarius
Our lives at risk.
Fans of heights, like that's different. That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, Sagittarius. We don't put our lives at risk. Why?
But you all are fire signs, and fire is not scared of anything. Like when you burn something, it's just gone. It goes to ashes. So just food for thought there, right? Hey. All right. Well, for me, I had a really productive week for sure. I've been really brainstorming and planning, really excited to bring to life Slay the Scene Academy. I've really been focusing on that. And so for many of you that know, I have been blessed to work in the entertainment industry for many years, since I was a kid. And then doing the hosting and the producing, being just creative overall is just a passion of mine. And I've been blessed to be in different stages and realms and just everything that I've done. So, and throughout the journey, I've learned that acting is not just about memorizing lines. And I've noticed a lot of actors that I've come across, y'all, it's just like, I don't feel their passion. Like I see them, they're acting, but I don't feel it. As an actor, you have to really be able to portray that character, project that emotion, right? And that is not necessarily looking cute and being in front of the camera and saying, oh yeah, Tommy, how was your day? Like, really? No, that's so robotic. So like, nah. So nevertheless, God really put it in my brain and in my heart to say, hey, for those who are really serious and want to take it serious and want to grow and blossom, help them, right? And so with that, I want to teach to people how to be confident, how to be disciplined, how to prepare, how to really learn how to tell a story and be in that moment, in that character without also losing yourself. Because I know for me, acting, I pull from a lot of my emotions to be able to portray like those heavy characters. And when I say by emotions, is correlating it to real life experiences. It's like a therapy for me. Everybody has their own different types of therapy. And that's why I really love and appreciate acting. And even when I do Hoy En Día TV, like with you all too, that's a way for me. It's therapeutic because I'm able to pour out what I have in my body, my brain, and my mind at the moment. And so it's really about being vulnerable. And a lot of people, for some reason, they say they want to be acting, but they don't put themselves in that vulnerable state to really show your true colors of being an actor, right? And so with Slay the Scene, it's pretty much, that's what it's designed for. I'm going to be able to pull out of that emotion. I want to break you out of that hard shell that you've put yourself upon and bring your best self. That's what's called Slay the Scene. So every scene that you go to, you get to slay it. Slay the scene, right? And so with that in mind, it is an academy style where it is designed for actors of all kinds, performers, creatives, and just individuals who are really passionate. Now, for the STS Foundations 101 through 105, 4 of those are going to be virtual, with one of them being in person. And in person because I really want us to be able to interact and come together and then be able to create some sort of content. So that way, as you continue to grow and blossom, you go to level 200, 300, 400, etc. So that's pretty much what I've been really focusing on since the last time that we connected here at Hoy En Día, and I'm really excited about that. So more to come on Slay the Scene Academy. So for those who have not registered, go under my website, yessierodriguez.com. On the drop down, select Slay the Scene Academy, and there's an option for you to register. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Now, y'all, for those who don't know, today is 17 years without our king of pop. He was amazing, right? Michael Jackson. Wow. Once in a lifetime artist, and his music was just, whew. I still love Smooth Criminal, Bad, Thriller, Dirty Diana, all of those. And then my recent ones is Break of Dawn. That one, so romantic.
Yes,
and then
saying nothing but Michael Jackson.
Yeah, Nadine can vouch for me. She knows how true Michael, like when I was visiting her, that was all I was listening to was Michael.
Yep.
Yes. So how do y'all feel about that? Did you all ever feel inspired or motivated by any of Michael's music, or how did y'all feel about him overall?
Oh yeah, I've always loved Michael music. Like every time the music come on, you just feel something in your soul. And it's like years later, because some of you sing along, but you don't know the true meaning until years later. They're like, well, did you know the song mean this? That he was talking about this? Like, what? And I can't believe that it's been 17 years already, because you were putting me onto something, Yessie, that one of the song, I forgot the name, and you were telling me the meaning. I was like,
Smooth Criminal. Smooth Criminal talks about a woman who deals with domestic violence, and that's why in the song, if you notice the lyrics, Annie, are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? It talks about a woman dealing with domestic violence, and the guy she's trying to escape from is trying to break into her house, which hits close to home to me. For those who know my personal story, I've dealt with something years ago similar to that, so it's interesting, yes, to say the least.
Yeah, you're right. I actually listened to the lyrics because I'd never, you just Annie, are you okay? And I just thought, you don't really compute and process the words, but I actually looked at the lyrics one day it came on the radio, and I was like, yeah, this is dealing exactly with that. And I was like, whoa, like this is deep. But I love the music too, Michael Jackson and stuff. But on his Dangerous album, on the cover art, right, there's a lot of things that people go into detail about, exposing a lot of the demonic kind of stuff that's on there. There's a guy that's on his album, and this guy is a Satanist. And if you look at the Danger album, it's all these little quirky little kind of stuff, but there's a lot. It's a mystery in a sense, but it's showing you a lot behind this. And so I don't know if this is like when the life kind of began to turn and all of that kind of stuff. But that one guy, it's like you'll see him if you go to the Dangerous album and just look at the album cover. It's kind of dark a little bit. And so I kind of wonder what was going on in his life during that time, but definitely love the music, grew up on that music, as a child, as an adult, as you know what I'm saying? Because Michael's been around for a hot minute. So yeah, it's been really amazing. Clive Davis, I don't know if you guys heard, he actually passed, I think maybe 3 or 4 days ago now. And he was really big, in getting these artists up and all these things. And so they were on the radio and they were talking about him and how he really influenced a lot of lives, singers, lives and things of that nature, with producing music, writing music, the whole industry, right? Clive Davis, he was a mogul in that. And I believe he was either 84 or 94 or 85, 95. He was up there. So he lived a long, full life.
Wow. Yeah, I thought I had seen something about Clive Davis passing, but I didn't realize it was actually true. That's wow. So I definitely send my condolences to his family, because I know that's definitely tough. Just losing a loved one in general is never a good moment, right? So I send my condolences and my thoughts and my prayers to that family. That's tough.
Yeah, because he was one of the ones that signed Whitney Houston, like big names and stuff like that. Clive Davis. I think he was 94. I think he was 94.
94. That's amazing. That's a beautiful life. He definitely lived well above. I mean, 94 is a great life. So thank you for spotlighting that for sure. Also, let's pivot over to the hot topics that we have here, because a lot of people, for some reason, are feeling some type of way about AI, sis. It's like both my sisters, right? I mean, we appreciate AI, right? Whether it's our cell phones has AI, or whether it is our GPS system that has AI, or whether it is even like the editing software, like when I use my Adobe's, or when I'm using the applications on my phone to enhance my images, with color correction and all that. That's all a form of AI, and people just don't realize that, right? So I want to remind you all that although everyone's entitled to your own opinion about AI, it's just be mindful of your words, because you use AI each and every day, and you just don't want to come across a little hypocritical, right? Because you're using AI each and every day, right? So again, whether it is your GPS, or whether it is your Google search, or your spam filters, your voice assistants, your reminders say, hey, Alexa, put on blah, blah, blah. That's AI. Or your car, the Teslas that are driving, which Nadine has a story to spotlight on Teslas coming up in a few. All of these are form of AIs. And just a friendly reminder that AI has been around since the 50s. And I get it. A lot of y'all, it probably went over your heads, but we are here to remind you all, and Hoy En Día Hoy, AI has been around since the 50s, and we are in 2026. So it's been a long time. The only difference that we're seeing today is we're seeing the growth and the expansion of AI. And guess what? The movies back in the 80s and 90s really highlighted that, what we are seeing today in 2026, especially the Terminator movies. So I've said a mouthful. Ladies, anything additional you want to add to that with regards to AI?
Yeah, AI is not going anywhere. I mean, like you said, it's been out for a minute. A lot of people wasn't really privy to it until, they start having all these apps and different names and ChatGPT. But, like you said, the GPS and Google and all that stuff, that's AI.
Yeah, the language changed, the name changed, so people aren't really familiar with the jargon, and it has been. It's been even calculator. Think about the basic calculator, right? That's been out for a hot minute, right? That's all of it, and so it just really depends on how you use it and how you choose to view it. I mean, there's pros and cons to everything in life, and so I hope people are looking at the pros and using it in the positive, right? Not the negative and stuff like that, and not taking it forward to be completely factual, because even with Siri now, it will say, hey, do you want me to use Chat GPT for that? You know what I'm saying? But you got to fact check it, because sometimes it gives you that erroneous information. So you just can't be like, oh, I looked it up on chat and this is it. You got to double check it. And you definitely got to know something about the subject that you're looking at. And if you absolutely are a novice and you don't know anything about the subject, you better absolutely go and check it, because Chat GPT, all the AIs, whether it's Perplexity or Claude or whatever, right? They are tertiary. I would say it's a tertiary source, not even a primary source, and definitely not a primary source that I use to get information. I might pull up something to kind of see like, okay, now let me go fact check that, right? Let me pull up some primary sources for it. So use it. I mean, use it. It's a great tool to use. It helped Nadine, right, fix her doors.
Girl, you put the words right out of my mouth. I was I'm not knocking AI, because I will run to AI in a minute. Like, AI helped me fix my cabinet today, and I'm so grateful, because now, the little screw is not wobbling and falling out of the little hole. I put some glue in there, put some toothpick in there, let it dry, knock it in with the hammer, and then drill it back in. And guess what? My cabinet is
voila.
Yes, I love that. See, so that's definitely a positive. You used AI for the positive. I mean, right. So that's just the thing. AI is here to stay, y'all. And I get it. Some of y'all are like, oh, it's taking away our jobs and it's taking away our resources. I mean, again, it's been around since the 50s. And when it comes to like resources, a lot of it has to do with the decisions that our government leaders are deciding upon, right? So there was one individual who made a comment on one of the posts with regards to the companies using water, like our resources. All they have to do is just put it in the ocean or in the water, just like they do overseas.
What? That's silly. That's a silly comment.
I know. Trust. I've seen a lot of comments around AI. It's just a lot of people, for some reasons, are not taking the time to really educate themselves about it. They're just quick to be with the mouth because they think it looks cute, but it's like, sorry, you got the wrong one right here. You got the wrong one. I'm going to educate you. I don't know everything, but I'm going to research, right?
The funny thing is, yes, you're so beautiful. People think you're AI on your own flyer, and they don't know you're a graphic designer that created that flyer. I mean, I'm not a graphic designer, but I could create some beautiful flyers in Canva. So people are not educated to know that you don't have to pay somebody to make a flyer. You don't have to use ChatGPT to make a flyer. I could go in Canva and make a flyer 1, 2, 3.
Yes, that is right, girl. Yes, that is right. The tools are in our hands, sis. You're right. The tools are in our hands. You took the time to educate yourself on AI. You realized AI wasn't going anywhere. And so the purpose of us talking about this today, y'all, is to encourage you to leverage the tools and resources and educate yourself so that you all are not left back there, because the train is going, whether you like it or not. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm here to tell you the truth.
Even the Teslas, like what happened to that lady? That's AI. Would I get a Tesla? No. Am I knocking anybody that owns a Tesla? No. But looking at all the different platforms and seeing all these accidents, because there's several malfunctions with the Tesla, believe it or not. The guy I don't know, he put it on autopilot, and it went like over 100 miles per hour and ran into the lady's house. And by the time they airlifted her to the hospital, I think she was in her 70s. She died.
Oh my God. So just to make sure I have the story straight, says is a person driving, it sounds like it was a guy. He put it on autopilot, but for whatever reason, it got off course. It rammed into an older lady's house. Mm-hmm. It impacted, it hit her, obviously,
straight
right?
Into the house. It went straight into the house and killed her.
Wow.
I did want to say this about AI. It's interesting that we're talking about it. And I pulled it up because my friend was talking about this last week. And in the Black communities, you have these different city officials, and they're talking about, AI and the impact in Black communities. Because I know we look at AI like, oh, I'm just on here Googling stuff, or, AIing stuff, however we want to call it nowadays. And there's a greater impact, right? in our communities. And so AI, you got to have data centers for this information, right? We say it's in the cloud, but it's in a building, on a on an actual source. You know what I'm saying? It's not in the literal cloud. So you have to have these data centers that stores all this information and stuff like that. And the impact is if these data centers move into your community, what's going to happen to your electric bill, right? Because these things, they pull a lot of energy, right? And so that's going to allow your bill to increase, right? Not only that, one of the other things she was saying, in the Black communities, they're trying to put these data centers in the Black communities because to these things, they emit radiation as well, right? So you got to look at that too. So there's some nefarious stuff kind of going on when you're, it's just like when you see all the electrical, grids that are going up and stuff. And in some neighborhoods, I'm like, we're not living over here. Do you see all these power lines? It's like, it's giving off radiation and stuff like that. So you got to look at it from that perspective too. And we also already know cybersecurity risk and how they've been making these movies with like the deep fakes and stuff like that. You got to be concerned about that. And also the water usage, you guys already talked about that. Cause I had listed some of these things when you were talking about it. Cause I was like, I never thought about that part, especially like, I feel like data centers, but I really wasn't connecting the dots and seeing like where these companies are trying to put these data centers to set these things up. And once again, it's in minority communities and things of that nature. And so even the environmental impact, because these things also, they put off emissions, believe it or not, right? Everything is putting off something, right? It's
like the 5G, right? Like the 5G.
Yes, absolutely. So there are some things that we have to look at concerning AI and just kind of, deciding, how good is it really? It's great for finding information and getting things really, really quick at your fingertips, but there is a greater effect that it can have, just like with all the electric cars, right? They think this is the greatest thing since sliced bread, right? And I now get that analogy, right? I now understand that. As I'm making fresh bread and I got to cut it, I'm like, ooh, this is bread a little chunky, okay? But there are other like real life impacts to your home, to your livelihood, your pocketbook, right? To the environment, that we have to look at. And as I was saying, the electric cars, because those batteries what do you do with those batteries? They don't even know how to properly dispose of these batteries. And so where we think it's helping the environment is bringing more damage and harm to the environment. So it's, you got to kind of think about it all, right?
So here's another thing with the AI about using it for evil. A lot of these content creators, yes, it's cute to make a nice picture with AI, but they want to follow these trends and they don't understand that using, like he was saying, it depends on how you use it. Use it for good, not for evil. And people might think it's funny now, but what if somebody that's not like savvy with AI or with the computer, they see something like the perfect one I'm talking about is they have this AI trend going around where they put people's picture or they make a little video with them stealing in a store or a supermarket. If you can look it up on TikTok or Instagram, and when they come in, their wife or girlfriend or sister, brother showing it to them on the screen, and they're like shocked, like, oh my God, and they have the news reporter talking about them. That is not cool. That's using it for evil, because people might think it's cute now, but why are you making, don't, you know what I'm saying? That is crazy.
Isn't that false incrimination too? Like those individuals can get jail time for false incriminating somebody.
Well, I mean, it's in their household that's making it. You know what I mean? The people that they know, like, their friends, and they think it's funny making.
So this is a joke that they.
It is a trend. It is a joke. They make these fake videos with them shoplifting, like the meat, putting in their shirt or their bag, and then when they come home on the TV, they put on the TV like the news is reporting about them, and they're like, "Oh my God, that's me. What am I doing on the TV? What's going on?"
That is not cool.
Here's the other thing. So we just watched this movie called Jexi, and I know we got to bring on our guest, but Jexi, Jexi. Watch the movie is all I'm going to say. It's a comedy, but it's about this phone that takes over this guy's life. Of course, this is AI. And when you think about all the things that this phone is doing, this could really happen. Seriously.
Is that on Netflix?
Phones have, I think it's on Apple or something, because the phones have all of our data, and it's about the privacy. It's about the terms and conditions. No one reads all that small print, the pages and pages of the terms and we don't read it. But because the guy was like, okay, are you ready to use your phone? We're here to help you. Just click all your boxes and sign up. And yes, but he didn't understand that when he said yes, it had rights. And so even with what you're talking about right now, Nadine, could be very, very dangerous, because even in all these platforms that we use it to change our face and to do all the stuff, right? They might own rights to, like, say we can use this content in whichever way we deem necessary. So you have to read the terms and privacy. Watch the movie Jexy. It was completely hilarious. It's not for kids. It's completely hilarious. But it will get you to thinking, because here's the thing. They're there to tell a vision. And if they're already showing it, they're already told it, they're already doing it.
That's a good point. No, that's a good point for sure. Absolutely. Sis, I believe you had one more topic you wanted to bring up before we did a sponsor break and brought on our guest, right?
Yeah, it was with Carmelo Anthony. So I heard on the radio today, on one of the Christian stations, they said that there's a team of attorneys, high-powered, high-profile attorneys, right? Good attorneys that you would pay probably tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars for. They are going to retry. They're going to appeal Mr. Anthony's case, and they're going to do it completely pro bono, because they feel that this gentleman did not receive a fair trial in regards to the amount of time. Right. They do believe, hey, there's some other kind of things going on, but they are going to appeal, and go back through everything again. And I'm grateful for that, because I've been hearing so much about this young man. He's only 19, 35 years sentenced to prison, and hearing all the things that we had on the show. We were just talking about last week, taking the money, the parents buying houses, cars, whatever, just kind of wash their hands of their kid. I don't know all the ins and outs. Right. But what I do know, and I am grateful for, is that these attorneys, God put it on their heart, and they're going to appeal his case, and they're going to defend him, right, in the proper manner in which he should have been defended in the first place. I do not agree with murdering anyone, and there has to be a consequence for that. You are not allowed to take another person's life. That's just it, end all, be all. You don't kill. Thou shalt not, right? But our justice system here in the great old US of A. And so things have to be done in decency and in order, and a fair trial has to be given, and all the evidence has to be looked at, and all the things, has to be done, all I's dotted, all T's crossed, to make sure that this young man can be issued a fair sentencing, because we know if it was someone else, they may not have received 35 years.
Well, right. What about the cops that killed that man that, they were kneeling on his back? He was crying out for help. I don't know if he had like a medical emergency why he died, but he was already restrained with the handcuffs behind his back. They had their knees in his back. The ambulance came, took him out. They were like, he's not breathing. The EMS was like, he's not breathing. And they were there. You could hear them, the body cam, pick them up laughing like, wow, did we kill him, or whatever the case is. And I don't know, did they get fired? Did they go to jail?
Wow.
Look up the article.
Yeah, let's do some more research, and we can spotlight that next week, because I'm curious. I didn't hear about it, so I'm glad you brought it up. I heard about Carmelo Anthony, so thank you for sharing that update, CC. But the one you're talking about, Nadine, I haven't heard about. So if we can, let's do some more research, because I would love to talk about that, because that's not cool at all. Like, no. And going back to Carmelo Anthony, I'm really glad that that this is happening to him, right? Everyone deserves that fair trial. And what the parents did, like, yikes. I mean, as a parent myself, you would want to support your kid in the best way possible. And from what I've read, they liquidated a lot of those assets that should have gone to attorney and legal fees. So, I mean, hey, I'm just one voice in the choir, but it sounds like other people had similar feelings about this, and that's why they're stepping forward, especially those attorneys, to help represent them for a fair trial. So thank you all. My hat's off to them for that as well. All right, lovelies, we're going to go ahead and do a quick sponsor break, and then bring on our special guest who has been patiently waiting behind the scenes. So don't go anywhere. No te vayas. Hoy En Día TV. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for the perfect shirt for that special occasion? At Collective Custom Wear, we bring your vision to life. From weddings, family reunions, anniversaries, or casual outing with friends, express yourself with your unique style and leave a memorable mark. Order now. Our custom shirts are designed just for you.
At Cab Zenza, we believe beauty is a ritual, not just a routine. Rooted in intention and inspired by nature, our skincare is crafted to nourish more than just the skin. It nourishes the spirit. Every jar is made with purpose, because when you flourish inside, it shows on the outside. Cab Zenza's isn't skincare, soul care.
From the moment that I put this Cab Zenza on my skin, it feels most amazing. As you can see, it has your skin glistening, it's moisturizing. You too should get Cab Zenza.
Luxurious body butters.
A bold builder of people, purpose, and platforms, Girls with Gigs helps high performers and those desiring to achieve more shift mindsets and activate purpose. Whether it's career or leadership development, personal branding, or knowing your worth, in the job market, transformation has never been closer, because this is where purpose meets action and dreams become destiny. Book your free consultation today at www.girlswithgigs.com.
Yes, for those who are ready to meet purpose, action, make your dreams a reality, reach out to Girls with Gigs, and our amazing CC will help you get yourself right. Find that purpose. Also, skincare should definitely be a routine, whether it is spring, summer, fall, winter. The skin is the largest organ of the body and it needs some TLC. So please don't walk around with dehydrated skin, because your skin needs TLC. So invest in Cab Zenza. Yes. Also, if you have an anniversary, wedding, let's say family reunion, get your collective custom wear shirts today. And hey, it's about how you style it. So, all right. Okay, so let's go ahead and spotlight we'll bring on our special guest we have, who has been patiently waiting for us. So today we welcome our special guest, a founder of the Lions Pride Financial Group, where he helps individuals and families take control of their credit, their finances, and their future. He's also a professional actor, author, host of an inspiring talk show called Inside the Den, a devoted Christian, a proud father, and of two, and a native of Gulfport, Mississippi. From humble beginnings to becoming a leader in financial literacy, personal development, and purpose-driven mentorship, our guest's journey is one about faith, about resilience, transformation, and absolutely that impact that it has, right? And so with that, let me see what happened. My window went away here. Today, we're going to have a powerful conversation with our guest. We'll talk about the financial freedom, credit education, overcoming life challenges, walking boldly in the purpose or in his purpose, and why his past does not define the future, which is true. Our past do not define our future. So whether he's on the screen, on the stage, behind the mic, or even serving the clients, our guest, his mission is clear. He is here to inspire, educate, and help others unlock the greater version of themselves. So today we welcome the wonderful Daniel Evans. Welcome to Hoy En Día TV.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. You have an amazing bio. In a nutshell, who do you say you are, Daniel?
It's just simple. I'm Daniel Evans, just a small-time country boy, just trying to do the work of the Lord.
Okay, awesome. So what brought you all the way to North Carolina from Mississippi?
That is a long story. If I told the full version, we wouldn't have time. But for the short version, I moved to North Carolina to be closer to my children that was here since 2011.
Okay, awesome. And so for those meeting you for the first time, how would you introduce yourself beyond the titles, being a founder, an author, actor, father? How would you introduce yourself? They say, who are you? Tell me.
Well, I'm just somebody who believes in collaborations. I believe in networking. I believe in being able to be all things for all people. I believe in just collaboration with people and just being able to help unlock some of the keys to becoming a better version of yourself. You know, everybody can just take a look in the mirror and just start with that man in the mirror and make a change. We can make a great impact in the world. We start with ourselves first and become better versions of who we are.
That is awesome. Thank you for that. So your journey and in the bio that I just read about you describes faith, resilience, and transformation and impact. What's one defining moment in your life that really changed that direction for you in your life and made you think the way you do today?
I think the main defining moment in my life was when I was indicted by the federal government back in 2008
Okay.
for a crime that I had no idea it had nothing to do with, from a conspiracy. And a conspiracy is one of the hardest charges to defend because you don't have to be present for a conspiracy to take place. So um, a being in a organization, a deputy sheriff was a jailer at the Harrison County Sheriff Department, being a booking officer. I dealt a lot of hands-on with some of the inmates that came through that place. And when something happened, when you become an inmate, you lose your rights to file a lawsuit. So the family steps in and filed a lawsuit. Inmate came in one night, was killed by some white officers. It was a black inmate. And in South Mississippi, because they have a really bad rep of being a very racist town, racist place, I was going to be going to trial with 8 white co-defendants. And as a black man trying to get a fair trial, I didn't feel like I would receive a fair trial with the jury selection not being in my favor. So taking my chances, filing having a guilty plea to, omit from having to be potentially railroaded with a unfair trial. I learned a lot about the system. I learned a lot how that you have to make decisions that are, as less, damaging as possible in order to make things happen. So going through that and then being able to bounce back from that, becoming an entrepreneur and being able to be the most successful in my life, in this industry of financial services, being able to make over $1 million as a convicted felon, but showing people, the right way of how to live your life after you have faced, extreme adversity. It's just been a blessing to be able to brag on God and show people, the power of God and how he has molded my life over the last 15, 16, 17 years.
Wow, that is telling for real. I do have follow-up questions. I'm going to spotlight Nadine first, followed by Cece, so that they can ask you their questions, and I'll ask mine later. Nadine?
Yes, let me get myself off of mute. Hello, Mr. Daniel. Welcome. Can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yes, I can't hear her. Can you repeat that? I didn't hear.
I was saying welcome. Hello, Mr. Daniel. Welcome. You can hear me?
Her okay, Daniel?
I can hear you, but I can't hear her at all.
Oh,
really? Can you hear me, Cece?
I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes.
Yeah, I can't hear it at all.
Oh, I don't know.
What?
I can filter the question. Like, you say it, and then I'll filter.
Just repeat what she said. I get it.
Okay, so my question is, you're a successful entrepreneur, right? Author, actor, talk show host, and father. How do you stay focused on your purpose while balancing so many different roles?
So she's saying that you are a successful author, father, entrepreneur. How do you stay focused while balancing all of these roles?
Staying focused. The focus is always God is the foundation. He's the base of everything I do, and other things that I do, I have to put God first, and God can help me, navigate to anything that I'm doing, any level that I'm on. God is always the center point, and with God, things that are impossible to man become very possible and very doable. When you're dealing, with the Holy Spirit, and you actually being, subjected to the voice of God. So I'm able to focus by just keeping God first at all times, and He lets me know when I have time and when I don't have time. Everything goes through Him first, and everything else just falls in line because He is the center point.
Absolutely. I agree with that. I have one more question. So, if someone is watching tonight, feels stuck because of their past mistakes, right? And fear or financial hardship, what message of hope would you leave them with to encourage them to keep moving forward?
So if someone watching tonight feels discouraged due to their situation, their hardship that they may be dealing with, finances, etc., what words of encouragement or words of wisdom to give them hope would you share with them?
Well, I would just say that everybody has a time of awakening. It might happen early on for some people. It might happen later on in life for other people. But no matter what time or what level you are in your life, when it happens, just thank God for the awakening. And so for the people who are trying to figure out their next level in life, it's just continue to hold on to what God has told you from the beginning, and believe in yourself. If you're looking for, just that one key factor is, I never stopped believing in myself. Never stopped believing in myself, and I never stopped believing in what God has spoken to me from years ago, and just continuing to stay on the path that God has put me on.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Yeah, those are all the questions I have.
She said, thank you. Those are all the questions she has for now.
So can you hear me, Daniel?
Daniel, can you hear Cece?
No, I can only hear you.
Really? That is interesting. I wonder what happened. Okay, I'll filter your questions.
Okay.
Also.
I'll try not to go so I'll just try to get to the question, but I just want to say welcome to being on the show.
She said, welcome to being on the show.
And you're a
Thank you.
multifaceted individual. I love that.
You're a multifaceted individual, and I love that.
And so I want to talk a little bit about financial literacy. First and foremost, what is financial literacy, and how do you help people understand what that is, and what do you do with that?
She wants to know, what is financial literacy? How can you help people understand that? And what do you do for that, or with that, with financial literacy?
So a lot of people have an ideal of what they want to do with their life and their money. Everybody wants to be a millionaire, but a lot of people don't know how to maintain money financially in order to get to that. We are not very good stewards of money and finances. And so when we do get money, a lot of people have a tendency to blow it. So understanding the 3 ways money grows, understanding the 5 homes of money, in order to understand, to be a millionaire, you got to understand how money works. You got to understand how it functions. So you're not just chasing a dream, thinking it's a dream, and it becomes a nightmare, because once you get money, you have to understand about taxes and other things like that. So just having money is only one side of the equation. So just being able to understand the importance of how money works, 3 ways money grows, 5 homes of money. We spend a lot of our time educating people on those principles so that they know, when you want to conquer something, you need to know everything about it. And it's just more than one thing, just having a bunch of money. If you don't know, where to house it, if you don't know how to use it, how it can work for you, and you'll get into a rat race of chasing money instead of being able to understand how it works. So you really, truly understand how money works. You'll have money working for you instead of you working for the money and being a slave to money. So we, and in my organization, we teach and educate people on the principles of money, where money grows, how money grows, where it lives, and things of that nature. So before you get to trying to decide how you want to, create your legacy and leave your legacy and things of that nature, before you can get to that point, you want to know how this thing works so you can understand the proper ways of getting it done, so you won't have to make those decisions in error and waste a bunch of time and money on trying to figure it out, so your family won't suffer when they really need it the most.
Excellent. So for our listening audience, right? Can
For
you
the audience, can you?
tell us about those 3 ways of money and those 5 forms of money? Can
Say
you
it
share
again.
Can you tell us about those
grow
3 ways of money and the 5 forms of money for the listening audience?
3 ways to grow
So
it?
3 ways. So the 3 ways money grows is going to be fixed. That is similar to your bank accounts, where it is kind of a base of how it is in the system. The problem is there's not a whole lot of growth in that. You might get maybe 0 to 1% of growth on your money, and then you have a variable. Variable is like the stock market, where you get money in a system. You can grow it in the stock market or 401k, things like that. But it's not safe, because when the market drops, you lose money in that system. And then the final way that money grows is index. Index account is safe like the banks, and it grows like the stock market, but it has principal protection where you don't take any losses and you pay no penalties or fees for that index account. And so it's dealing with insurance and things like that. So that's a 3 ways money grows. 5 homes of money or banks. You have the bank account, like I said before. You have the stock market. You have the qualified plans, your 401k. You have the real estate, and then you have life insurance. You want to make sure that when you do have your money, you want to put it in places where you're going to get the most growth out of it, with the least amount of penalties and fees and the least amount of risk. And the bank account is going to be safe, but you get no growth and you lose what we call buying power. In the variable accounts, index accounts are safe because you don't have to worry about it losing money, because it's going to put a stop loss on it. So you only participate in the upswing of the market versus the downswing. So it's going to lock you in that rate where you are at the time of the upswing. And when the market drops, you still perform at the current level where you are, and et cetera, and et cetera. So you want to know how money works and how it grows before you decide where to invest your money and where to, to decide how your legacy is going to be left behind.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know now, in the stock market, people, Elon Musk, like he has a new stock that's out, SpaceX and stuff like that. And of course, I think it started out at 165, and we were just like, let's just wait for it. I'm sorry. Yes, I'm going too fast.
So Daniel, she's pretty much sharing her story about the Elon Musk stock that she's looking, and it sounds like she is looking to invest in that, right, sis? Is that
you just wait, because some of the investors were like, oh yeah, this is so great. And it is going to be a great stock, I think, but not at the 165 in which they came out at. And so now you can see as the week is kind of going by, it's actually decreasing a little bit. And that's where you kind of want to get in, like at that true price. So I just wanted to kind of share that. My last question is, in his bio, it talks about, educating people, right? Helping them move into their future and their purpose and things of that nature. So how does he do that with individuals?
In your bio, you talk about helping people move forward with their purpose and helping them grow. How do you do that with individuals? What would be a day in the life of that process?
Well, I'm a certified life coach, so I sit down with individuals and figure out, where they are in life. If they're stuck, we walk through scenarios and try to figure out the best case scenario for them. But it's just pretty much just listening to people and trying to figure out where they are right now and where they're trying to go. And with that information, I help them just kind of take the blinders off, coming from a different perspective, have to open their eyes up and see where they want to be and kind of map out a game plan on getting there. Because I'm a one-stop shop for a lot of different financial services and different things, being a life coach, motivational speaker, and things like that, I'm able to help people really figure out that next step in their life. And they have receipts about, once they finish up and get it done, we come back, follow through with them. And, those are some really powerful encounters that I have with people that I deal with in helping them, figure out the next step.
Awesome. She said she gave a thumbs up. But I do have a follow-up question with regards to going back to the finances. So what would be one practical step that you would recommend or share with the audience, the listeners, that they can do this week, that they can take today or even till the next time that they tune into Hoy En Día to help them improve their credit, their finances, and their mindset overall about just being financially literate?
Well, I would just say that if you're going to do something, like when I talk to people and their goal is to buy a house, then we have to go back and figure out some of the habits they're going to need to get familiar with before they get to a house. Understand that you have to have sacrifice that you're willing to do in order to live the life that you want to live. So you might have to stop going out and partying every weekend. You might have to sacrifice being able to. Now, if you are a heavy drinker or smoker, you might have to cut some of that stuff out in order to get to where you're trying to go. So it's really all about the sacrifices that you're willing to do in order to get to your goal and your dream. So we sit down and we talk extensively, and I'm a very good listener to find out where they are. But when they get to the point of they really making their mind of what they want to do, it's really important that you have your mind made up and you have your no matter what in mind, and you have your what I'm willing to do to get to where I'm trying to go in mind already before you get to that to the paper, because it's going to take some accountability on your end to really decide where you want to go in life and how fast you get there and what steps you take to get there. But you got to have discipline as well to know that what I'm doing right now is going to actually benefit me in the future. So the sacrifice is worth the reward that I'm trying to get to in life.
Okay, awesome. Yes, I like that. So pivoting over to Inside the Den, tell us more about what Inside the Den is and what kind of conversations do you have on your platform?
So I started Inside the Den during the pandemic. Wanted a platform for people to kind of speak their truth during a time where there was, shutting down jobs and you really couldn't really talk a whole lot about certain things. In the corporate world, you can't really, talk about politics, religion, and things like that. So having some people come to sit down and talk, and during a time where, like I said, there wasn't really a whole lot of a platform people to really express what they was going through, I thought it would be a good idea to kind of sit down with some guys and kind of get our thoughts and emotions out, because it's one of those things in America now. African American men don't really believe in going to no type of therapy session. So we don't really believe that therapy is good. It's a sign of weakness to some people. But when we get around our friends and our fellows, we kind of have a tendency to talk about those things that's bothering us. When you go to the bar with your friends, you talk about those things that's bothering you. You talk about things, and it sounds like a therapy session minus the therapy. And so I said, let me create a platform that we can talk about some things, some really important topics that it won't feel like therapy. They can actually kind of help us, because when you suffer in silence, the worst always happens. People just explode it, kind of lose their mind because they've been holding something in so long. And it's like, if you can just get it out, then maybe that breakdown wouldn't happen. So started the show as a form of therapy to just kind of help people just kind of express their feelings. And in the process, me learning these people's truths and listening to these guys talk, it became therapy for me. I was able to kind of tell my stories and kind of compare stories and kind of testify on different situations, and it just kind of grew to a whole, inside the den. The name speaks for itself. When you're inside the den, what do you talk about behind closed doors? What do you talk about when everything is over with, after the camera's done cut off, and you're really sitting inside your body, and you're only talking to yourself? What does that conversation look like? And you have to evaluate yourself and hold yourself accountable. What does that look like? So those are the kind of conversations you find on Inside the Den. Personal stuff, one-on-one, just testimonial type stuff, and just kind of helping people figure out, where they are and getting to the next level, like I said before, and becoming a better version of your current self.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. Yes. So where can people tune in if they want to listen to Inside the Den, catch you, listen, etc.? How can they find Lions Den?
Inside the Den is streaming live on YouTube at Inside the Den 43. I'm also on TikTok, Inside the Den 43 on there, and Facebook, Daniel L.D. Evans.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Now, Daniel, a lot of people don't know, but we've reminded them many times this month that June is actually Men's Mental Health Month, right? And so part of your testimony includes that, right? Walking through a very difficult chapter that you shared with us earlier. So thank you for sharing that. That really tested your faith, your identity, your mental strength. When you look back at that season in your life, and what are some of the things that helped you overcome that? And how did that experience really shape the man, the father, the leader, and the servant you are today?
Everybody goes through this time in their life where they have to really figure out who they are. And my time was obviously when I went to prison. But being a child of God, being a child of a minister, I've been in church my whole life. So when I went through this time in my life, it was more a one-on-one conversation that I had to have with God. He had been calling me for such a long time. And as believers, we kind of have a tendency sometimes to get too busy and we can't really hear things clear because we got so much going on. And when I tell this story, I have to always relate it back to that, back in the late 90s where you had that Verizon wireless guy saying, "Can you hear me now?" And he'd be all over the place trying to get the best cell phone reception in the world. And when you have your life so full of drama and so full of issues, you have a tendency to have your life turned up too loud where you can't even hear the sweet whisper of God. And God can be calling your name, calling you to a purpose in life. And he's calling you the whole time. But because things are going on, it's the reception comes in statically like that. "Can you hear me now?" Like the Verizon wireless guy. And it was only when I was in prison for the first full day, I was able to sit down. And when God said, "Can you hear me now?" it came in loud and clear. And I was able to hear it. And I'm like, did it really take all of that for me to go through this in order to hear it? And sometimes it does. Some people think that they was arrested in life, but they've actually been rescued. It's a difference between being arrested and being rescued. You actually been rescued because being on the streets too long, it could have been a bullet with your name on it. It could have been a drug with your name on it that could have took you out of here. And we complain about some of the chastisement of God, but we fail to thank God for, "Thank you for taking me when you took me," because it was at that moment where I had to really realize who I was and what God had for me. And it was a greater purpose. It wasn't about me. The Bible declares that he will leave the 99 sheep to go after that one. And if I am the one that he had to go after, then by all means, you know what I'm saying? Use me until you use me up. You know what I mean? And so just being able to take my life down that road, I don't regret it. I don't take it for granted. I look at it as a turning point in my life where I had to make a decision. I can either let this felony conviction destroy me and let it be the end of me, or I can trust in God and say, this is going to be the greatest thing that ever happened to me, and use it as a way to catapult the future that I have, that God has orchestrated. And my later days was way more greater than before, because I've done more great things as a convicted felon than I did before I've ever had had the opportunity to go through that story. So something that was meant to be an embarrassment for me have been a great, huge testimony and an empowerment for people that I come in contact with.
Wow. Yes, that's very deep. So thank you so much for sharing that. We're going to pivot over in a few minutes to the last minute words. Before we do that, Nadine or Cece, any other follow-up questions?
I do not. No.
Yes, I put it in the chat, so it'll kind of make it easier for you to read it to him.
Yeah, so Cece would like to have you back, which I agree. I echo her words. Let's have you back on the show to discuss prison if you're open to it.
Oh yeah, most
The
definitely.
viewers, the day in the life, and hopefully deter others from prison. Is that what you were saying, Cece?
Yeah, because like some people think like this mentality in our communities is like, oh, it's cool to go to prison. You know, like it's like having it's like a passport and having a stamp in it and saying been there and done that. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like a rite of passage, but it's the wrong kind of passage. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So being able to share, you know, not that he was like a criminal or anything, because his case is different, but he still had to go into that system. And so being able to convey that to others, right, can give them an insight. It's like, this is not a place for any human, right, to be, right?
Right. So what she's saying, Daniel, is pretty much share a day in the life, more to get for individuals to get a glimpse. She says that there's a notion that going to prison is like a passport stamp, where it's like, oh, been there, done that. But it's one of those things where people don't realize that it's not as easy as it is, right? There's a different life and lifestyle within the prison system that people have to be cautious about. And although your story is different because of your situation with a conspiracy, just helping, especially the youth growing up today, just understand, you know, when you're dealing with the different gang, and I'm adding more context to it so that you can understand where she's coming from. You know, when you're dealing with the gangs, when you're dealing with skipping school or not really following the rules, these are the consequences. And this is the life inside the prison, what you can expect. I'm sure there's going to be fights in there as well, right? You have to, I'm sure, I mean, this is what I've seen. So you, again, will have more firsthand experience. But sharing that day in a life more for motivation for the people growing up, the youth growing up, to think like, oh, it's cool. I'm in a gang. I'm in this. I'm in that. It's like, no, sorry. Pump the brakes, because there's a lifestyle within that system itself, right?
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in coming back on and talking about that kind of stuff. I definitely have that version of the story as well for the ones that need to hear that as a deterrent. But I like to also motivate people on the other side as well. But I'm definitely interested. A lot of my story that I tell everybody is inside my book, best-selling book, Pride of the Lion. Is available on Amazon.com. Pride of the Lion, the story of my life, my early struggles, my time in the military, and then my time in the prison system and things like that, and how I was able to overcome. So it's available. I'm working on book 2 of that same story. Part 2 is coming out soon, but I'm definitely available and interested in getting on again to talk more about some of the things I experienced when I was in prison and show some of those stories that people, you know, are very curious to understand and hear about when they talk about stuff like this.
Absolutely. That's awesome.
Thanks for your service as well.
Nadine said, thank you for your service. They're also fellow veterans as well. So that's amazing to have 3 veterans on the show. Thank you 3 for your amazing service. Absolutely. What's next for you, Daniel? Where can people find you, follow you, etc.?
I'm actually currently working on a movie right now by the name of Choices. We finish up this final my final scenes this weekend. So that's working on now. Have about 3 or 4 projects I'm working on in the month of July that I'm getting prepared for, and just continue doing what we're doing right now. You know, motivating people, inspiring people. You know, just helping people, you know, become a better version of themselves in my personal business, professional. Like I said, just getting to my to another level in this acting thing. For the ones who don't know me, I'm a professional actor and author. I working on my next 2 book projects coming out by the end of the year. And you know, one of the biggest highlights of my life right now is getting ready for my my wedding coming up November 28th of this year. So I'm going to be getting married very soon. So that's going to be another beginning chapter of the next chapter of my life, being married again. So so that's just something that everything we're doing right now, and I'm getting prepared for everything. So it's just, you know, to the glory of God right now.
That is so
blessings and blessings.
Nadine said blessings and blessings and blessings. She also said congratulations, the 3 of us did. So
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, let's go pivot over to our last minute words. And this is where you all can share your last minute words. We're going to start with Nadine, followed by Cece. Daniel, you'll go third, and I'll close out with the remaining sponsors. And this is an opportunity for you to remind the viewers and listeners where they can find you, follow you. If you have a quote, anything that comes to your heart that God puts there to share at this moment, this is an opportunity for you to say that. So, Nadine, you can start us off.
Yes, so as you guys know, my name is Nadine Barton, as spelled on the screen right here. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram under Nadia B, NADIAB, _1202. Author, actress, Navy retired veteran. And if you need my body butters, you could go on my website, capzenza.com. Also, if you need a copy of my books, you could go to www.nadinebarton.com. Like I always say, every dream begins with an entry point. So make sure, every dream has an entry point. Make a decision. And like I always say, follow up to that. Life is 10% of what happened to you and 90% of how you react. So treat people kind.
I love that. I love it. I love it. So, hey, I'm your girl, Sienna, the Actions with Inspire for Purpose, where we help empower, execute, and equip you, right, to help you be able to move through, right, for your life's mission. And I changed up my quote a little bit. I have like a little quote here, and I was just thinking about this today. God put it in my spirit, but it was like, leave the earth empty, right? Leave this earth empty. So when you're dead and gone, rest in peace, all that kind of stuff, leave the earth empty, for it means that you have fulfilled your destiny. Right? Because you don't want to go to your grave with all those gifts and talents and all the things in you, right? You want to put it all out, give it all you got, put it into the earth, right? Bless the world with your presence. And as always, love and light and inspire for purpose. You can find me at www.girlswithgigs.com and also inspireforpurpose.com.
Daniel, spotlight's on you, sir.
All right. Well, I just wanted to say that, in closing, that we're living in a time right now where everybody wants a last minute, a microwave result. No one's really able to put into work. My advice to you is this: too much is given, much is required. In order to get to the next level, there's some things you got to go through in life in order to qualify for that. Every test in life comes with a lesson first. Lesson, and then the test to decide whether or not you're able to go to the next level. So remember that in life. Don't get discouraged. If life is handing you whatever it is, lemon, squeeze them and add some sugar and water and make lemonade and get to the next level. But only what you do for God will last. We are in this world, but not of this world. Our job is to continue to do what God called us to do, and actually impact everybody else that we come in contact with and help them get to the next level as well.
That is amazing. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Before I say my last minute words, we're going to do two more sponsors spotlights. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Hoy En Día TV.
Sponsored by Collective Wear, available at www.yessierodriguez.com/shop and myrod-enterprise.com/shop.
Sponsored by Divine Beauty and Accessories. Watch Hoy En Día TV, Thursdays, 7:30 p.m.
That's right. Hoy En Día TV is here every Thursday, 7:30 p.m., jueves, 7:30 p.m., reruns Sundays, 7:30 p.m. You can also catch us on Spotify, Amazon Music, Samsung Music, iHeartRadio, Apple Music, a bunch of other podcasts, right? You can also go on my website, yessierodriguez.com. If you click on the upper left-hand corner, it's going to be the drop-down. You can select Hoy En Día, and you're going to see the other platforms where you can find us, whether you are at the gym, taking a walk, you're flying, you're connecting, whatever it is that you're doing, listen to Hoy En Día TV. We are here to positively motivate, educate, inspire, enlighten, and entertain you, the viewer and listener, with each and every episode. Thank you all for tuning in. And for those who want to find me and follow me, hey, just simple. Go on Google, type in YESSE Rodriguez, Yessie Rodriguez, and voila. All my platforms come up. Also on my website, yessierodriguez.com. Make sure to register for Slay the Scene Academy. Serious actors, serious models. Come on, vamos a trabajar. Let's work. All right, y'all. Until next time. And remember, the sky is never the limit because the galaxies are endless. Hasta pronto. Bye-bye.